Would you rather cross paths with a man or a bear in the forest? Your answer?
Bear.
Bear? Okay, what about you?
I said a man.
Man? Okay.
Yeah.
I also said a man.
All right, what about you?
A man.
A man.
A bear.
All right.
Yeah, a man.
Okay.
A bear.
A bear. Wait, so bear, bear, bear? Was that it? Is that right? Okay, everybody else
Yeah.
said man. So
Only
why?
exception is if it's Winnie the Pooh.
Uh-huh.
I would love to meet Winnie the Pooh.
Yep. So why do you pick bear and why don't you pick man? Go ahead.
I just feel like I would have like a direct, I don't know, set of tasks to try and do to get away from a bear or beat a bear, but like men are unpredictable, so you never know what you're getting.
Aren't bears unpredictable too?
Oh, they definitely are, girl.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, they tell you, like, I don't know, be bigger than the bear or run from the bear, depending on what kind of bear it is. It's a silly question, so you're going to get a silly answer.
I don't think it's silly, but and you don't pick the man. Is there any further reasoning or?
Purely because they're unpredictable and I don't know what I'm going to get.
Okay.
I don't know how big the man is. I don't know if I can
Yeah.
beat this man. I'm in a wheelchair. I don't think the bear's going to pick me, quite frankly.
Okay.
But the bear couldn't push you through the woods either.
No, but I could push me. No man is pushing
Through
me.
the woods?
I mean, I can get up. Technically, I can walk, so I'm just going to
All
get
right.
out of the chair.
Why do you pick bear and why don't you pick man?
I think with men, there's a chance of more trauma, and I'd rather a bear eat me and kill me than experience more
Okay.
trauma.
Sure. All right. And then what about you?
Oh, I said man unless it's Winnie the Pooh.
Oh,
I'll
meant
make-
somebody else said
Oh,
you
me.
said bear. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. I would say, honestly, I wouldn't like either. But
You got to pick one, so you pick the bear. Why do you pick the bear? Why don't you pick the man?
because, I mean, obviously men can have, they could, like she said, the sexual thing, or also, like, they can have a gun. They could, like, actually, like, do something, like, I don't know, they can have a knife. Like, the bear, it's like, you're going to maul me or not. Like,
I don't think a bear is going to lock me in its basement either, so just saying.
yeah.
Okay, so then, and is that a concern for you too? The potential risk of like SA with the men. Okay, so I guess for those of you who said the bear and said that, what do you think? Like you've done a risk assessment. What percentage of men do you think would be inclined to SA you?
Well, I feel like 100% of bears are gonna kill me, and not 100% of men randomly wandering in the woods are gonna want to kill me. I'm sure there's a percentage of them that would be, but I feel like a bear is much more dangerous in like a weighing the pros and cons way.
Oh, I meant just collect the stuff. But
Are you done with this?
Oh no.
Oh,
oh,
okay.
I thought it was done. Maybe, maybe the
The napkin.
napkin over here. Okay, so I'll repeat the question.
Thank you.
Those of you who said the bear and you cited to SA, what percentage of men do you think would be inclined to SA you?
I genuinely have zero clue about a percentage. I think
You
it
don't
just
need,
comes
it doesn't
from.
need to be exact, but
I genuinely don't have an answer for you. I don't think that it's like a majority. I don't think that it's
Okay.
like, I don't know. I genuinely have no
All right.
idea.
Maybe like 5 to 10%.
5 to 10%. Okay, what about you?
I was going to say like 50, 60%.
50,
Because
60%?
why? No, there's no other reason a man is in the woods. In my head. Like,
In your
except
scenario.
like, in my scenario, yeah.
I
Unless
just-
he's hunting.
I would
But
just like
still.
to assure you that almost every man who's ever been in the woods has almost always been in the woods for reasons other than the one that you think that they're in the woods for.
Exactly.
They like
And
to
in fact, I'm going to say right now, on record, that I would be willing to put the number at essentially 100% of men who end up in the woods are there for purposes other than that purpose.
Do you want to respond to that?
I think it's
Definitely
valid.
not 100%. Maybe like
you say?
99.
Well, she's the one who gave the 50
No,
to
I don't
60.
think 1%. No way. Not one. 1%
think
of
there's-
men do not go in the woods with the hope of essaying a woman. That's just insane.
I mean,
Oh,
with
well,
the
no, not
hope of-
necessarily that. No, yeah. No.
But would have the capacity to, maybe,
Yeah.
but like with the hope of.
Wait,
I think
Or
that's a
likely
weird,
to.
I think that's a
wait,
weird odd.
stop. I have a really good question. You guys are saying, well, what are they doing in the woods? How about this?
camping.
You guys ever go to nightclubs? You guys
Yes.
ever go to bars?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the proportion of men who go to these environments with the intention of actually like, I'm gonna like drug some girl's drink or like do something untoward, you think that's higher at a nightclub or in the woods?
Nightclub.
Nightclub for sure.
Like of the men that go to the woods versus of the men that go to nightclubs, bars, and parties, etc. So why do you guys go to bars, nightclubs, and parties?
It's a really good point.
Yeah.
Fair
that
point, but
got
also
me.
like no one goes hoping that they get assaulted anywhere.
Well,
So like,
yeah,
shouldn't
but
we just be able to
I'm-
go places?
I'm looking at it, I'm not looking at it from the female perspective. I'm looking at it, you guys are saying these men have some intention. Why are they in the woods? They're going there for some reason.
I mean, I go to the
Da-da-da.
woods and I go to the club, so
Yeah, that's kind of evading my question a little bit, but.
no, I'm just, you were saying like, why would you go there? Was it versus the
Well,
woods?
I mean,
Well, if the idea is that you would risk a bear
There's predators everywhere.
spawning into the woods with a bear over spawning into the woods with a man because you're
Guys.
afraid that a man will SA you. If you think that your chances of running into men in the woods and being SA'd are significantly lower than going to a nightclub and being SA'd, then why wouldn't you not go to the nightclub? It just seems like a basic risk assessment analogy that's kind of silly.
I think
I
the
think-
question was also phrased in a different way, wasn't it? More men who go to clubs have the intention of, not they're going to sexually assault you in the club.
Yeah, I would say if you spawn into the woods with a random man, very few, if any, would. I mean, obviously there would be some, I guess, but almost none would spawn in with the intention of doing anything to you, right?
I'm assuming that I would be alone in the woods, so I would feel safer in a club where there's hopefully at least a few good people that would protect me, including like security, whereas in the woods there's no one to protect me.
Well, wouldn't that be a bad risk assessment? If you say if you ran into a random man in the woods, your chances of getting SA'd there are probably less likely than getting SA'd in a nightclub. That still would be a bad risk assessment, right?
No, because are you
No,
assuming
I
the man
agree
is
that
random?
It's more likely in the club.
Yeah, even a random man in the woods.
Yeah, no, that's where I draw the line, because I need a witness.
I think because I don't drink, I feel safer going out.
Huh. Okay. I guess follow-up question then. Does it change anything? Those of you who picked bear, does it change anything if it's 10 bears or 10 men?
They both sound
And they're all
equally
together.
as-
It's a group.
Oh,
So there's
God.
10 men all together, like random men. They just spawn into the forest randomly, or 10 bears all together.
I don't even like being in elevators with 3 men or 2 men. Like,
So do you still pick bear?
yeah, I think
Still
so.
still pick bear?
I think so.
Still pick bear?
I'll just hide.
No, I think I'd choose men because I would hope there's at least 1 out of the 10 that wouldn't let it happen.
Wait, but you earlier said that like you said the percentage in terms of the risk assessment, you said it was like 5 to 10%. I think those were the percent. So like, wouldn't it be 9 out of the 10 men?
What?
Are the good ones? is
You
what he's
said
saying.
when I asked you like, what's the risk assessment when it comes to SA? How many
Yeah,
percent of
9
men
out of 10
would
would
do
be
this? Yeah, so
good.
wouldn't the clear option then be to pick the 10 men because like 9 of those 10 men would like?
And she said men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was like, wait, what are we?
Okay, maybe I misunderstood then. Change anything for you?
Same situation, just because of odds. I think it comes down to like the aloneness more than the woods.
Okay, so you pick the 10 men.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
I
quick
agree.
question coming back to you. You said like 50 to 60% of like men would be inclined to do this. Do you think like, do you have any brothers?
I have 2 younger brothers.
Can you scoot to the table
Yeah.
a little bit?
I have 2 younger brothers.
2 younger brothers, and you have a father?
No, I have 2 moms. They're lesbian. I'm adopted.
Okay. Do you have like male relatives, cousins, uncles, this sort of thing?
I have an uncle and a grandpa, but
Okay.
they don't really like
Yeah.
have an influence over me.
Sure. Do you think like 50% of the men in your family would do this? Like not
Oh no, if you put it that way, then no.
Mine would.
No.
yours
I don't
would?
think so.
And I'm not going to name drop, but mine have. So if you're going to go with those odds, then yes.
Okay.
And that's just the ones that you know about. So
All right. So you're saying like
50% of
Okay, I think 50 was a little exaggerated. I just
no,
am
yeah,
not good
50
with
was pushing it.
percentages.
No, 50 was pushing it, but a large amount of
20?
the
What's the-
names
well-
that, huh?
Well, actually, we can divide this percentage very quickly. Just take the amount of male family members that you have, and with the amount of SA that you know about, and then what's the percentage come out to roughly?
I'm not gonna think about that.
Why don't
Thank
just
you.
look it up on Google? The person.
Why? I don't understand. It's
About
not a trick
personal
question.
families, I would like to no longer think about. Thank you.
I don't know what that has to do with the question.
It has to do with me being uncomfortable thinking about the assault in my family. So I'm
I think it's just
Good.
being evasive,
Trauma
but
dumping.
okay. If it's too uncomfortable for you, then it's too uncomfortable for you, I guess.
thank you for that. Being
You're
that as a child repeatedly is too uncomfortable for me. So I'm tabling
Yeah,
this.
yeah, I know. You know, you want to. So here's what's happening, right? So I ask a benign question just based on logic, and so instead, you want to victim shame, like you want to be like, well, I was a victim of this horrible thing that happened, and you're giving me unnecessary trauma, blah blah blah. The intent of the question was not to bring up childhood trauma that I would have no way of knowing ever.
I know.
But that's fine.
But the respect would just be to end it when I asked you to end it.
Yeah, I did end it. I said that's fine, and you were like, no.
Okay, I'm gonna move it on.
Who cares donated $100?